I would want to talk about our approach towards experience centers. Nowadays, in the design industry, every product has to be felt before the customer would actually want to buy it. So the whole purpose of how an experience center is to be made becomes very important for any particular aspect of the business. We have been fortunate to do quite a lot of experience centers across sanitary sector, to kitchens, to like wardrobe sections, to different material industry like in veneers. So each one of them was a story that was built from where the experience of a customer, how could we celebrate a particular material. Because when we are doing stylish path, the challenge was to deal, not to design the experience center, but the challenge was how do we make the experience which is more fulfilling and enriching for a customer, even a product which was probably assumed to be something which was not very excited about. For example, bathroom fittings, normally I have heard clients saying that as a bathroom fitting store, it looks more like a public toilet where it has washrooms, we have WCs all around. So that is the initial experience. But how do we enrich and enhance that experience to be something which could be celebrated? For that, the idea which came around was actually to create something like an outdoor garden inside a store, which was very important for the kind of customers we were looking at, how we could create that kind of experience or enrich that kind of feeling of actually being in that space in a garden and having those things, products around you. So those things are very different from a client's perspective, where they try to get the essence of that space. So similarly, when we did Alia Kitchens, the focus was not just on the product. It was also about how could we make the customer imagine the same space as if it was his own. So how do we create those kind of different experiences, different places where each person could actually experience the ownership of owning that kitchen. So this journey becomes very important. And even in a place like where we talk about when we were doing timber rime, the whole idea was how do we celebrate even a material like a veneer? How do we show it in its best expressive form? So the whole idea of a infinite ribbon that was going around the store was a function of it. So it was not that the design actually evolved just out of a random thought or something, but the whole perspective is about, rather than the design, it's about the user experience. Because we are in an age where the user experience becomes very important, and that's how experience centers have evolved a long way from what they were just displaying the product to a point where they make them feel like museums, where you can actually have an engagement between the user and the space, and you can create a sort of an experience which a user can hold with themselves, which is essential for understanding the product, specifically in case of luxury products. So at Ardete, what we look at experience centers are, we actually understand the kind of audience who is coming in, we understand the kind of the psyche of the audience, how we could actually create an experience for them. So it's a drill that actually where we run through the entire process, that how could be the customer make it more engaging or for the audience, or more experiential for the audience. So for that, there are several models what we incorporate where we could create that sort of feeling. Sometimes it's also a place to pause, where to place to sit, or just to have a coffee. But those things are part of experience. It's not just about the product alone. So these products, even like when we are doing i.e. the lift possibility, so it's also about how a journey of the particular company could be translated into a store, because where the entire store sort of is actually talking to the customer at every step and answering the questions what he would probably have in his mind in a systematic way to lead him to a possibility of understanding the product and finally to actually owning the product. So that is the whole journey, which is beyond, much bigger than what a design or a plan would do, but it's about a 360-degree approach of understanding the perspective of the user and enhancing and enriching the experience.